Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing. We have returned from the second off week of Season 20, and we are here for the Super Bowl of TCR, the 12th annual TCR Grand Prix. We're about to get into one-shot qualifying for this unique format, followed by a 5-lap sprint race and then a 50% feature race to cap it all off. My name is Camden Luca, doing lead commentary tonight, and as you see, these guys are putting in setups in their garage stalls right now. We are now 30 seconds away from one-shot qualifying. So, a little reminder of how this goes. One-shot qualifying will set the order for the 5-lap sprint race. The pole winner from one-shot qualifying gets 1 bonus point towards the championship. It doesn't end there, though. 5-lap race, the winner gets 5 points, second place gets 3 points, and third place gets 1 point. Oh, and the fastest lap winner gets a bonus point as well, as we are now on board for one-shot qualifying. It does go quick in this event. We are expecting maybe another driver or two, but B-Tom, our championship leader, could wrap it up tonight. We will talk all about that here tonight, as there are bonus points up for grabs, and B-Tom has a 108-point lead. Just absolutely phenomenal stuff by B-Tom this season, and we'll see if he can wrap it up tonight. The thing with B-Tom is that after this week, there will be 3 weeks left, including a sprint event. The most points anyone can get after tonight is 86 throughout the final 3 weeks of the season, and B-Tom right now has a 108-point lead, so it's pretty simple. If B-Tom gets points tonight, I think he will have this wrapped up, and he is starting out nice and pretty, and he comes to the line and gets a bonus point. Fastest lap, 104 flat, and he gets it over Mahmoud by about a 1/10. And this will be the order for the 5-lap race, and now B-Tom's lead up to 109 points. So at this point, he literally just needs to finish this race, and he just about has it. But we'll see what he does, though, in the 5-lap race. That is a good point. If he can get 5 bonus points by winning the race and fastest lap, he could just about clinch it. So, and also Ferrari, these two right here, these two speed demons, B-Tom and Lion, they pretty much have constructors wrapped up tonight. We could be seeing a sweep for the championships tonight. Both of them could be clinched after tonight, with still 3 weeks left after tonight. That is going to be something to look for. All right, well, the good thing about tonight is that we have multiple, yes, multiple predictions. And we will get into that in just a sec. I gotta make sure people are ready up at the right time, because I'm in charge of everything here. I do it all. I do the comms, I do the coordinating. I used to do the racing. I am now retired. For good, actually. I came back for a little bit in a different league on F125, but it didn't end very well, so I think I'm going to stick to the booth for the rest of the season. And then we'll see from there. All right, 5-lap predictions. I got B-Tom P1. I think he's ready to go. I think he knows what to do in these 5-lap races, these short events. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Put your podium predictions down in the comments. I think B-Tom just has a lot of experience in these short events. You know, he's very prepared for everything. So I got B-Tom P1. I'm going to go Lion P2, and I'll go Mahmoud P3. That's my top 3, and that's actually the top 3 in the points. B-Tom, Lion, Mahmoud. 1, 2, 3 in points. B-Tom 205, make it 206 after winning the pole. Lion 97 points, and Mahmoud 86 points. That is your top three. JMB fourth in points, 81, and D-Swish fifth with 76. All right, here we go. 5 laps to determine the starting order for the TCR Grand Prix, and it's time to go, go, go. Off the line, B-Tom, good start. Mahmoud is at his right rear tire as they go into turn 1. This tight corner here, this right-hander. Mahmoud is side-by-side with the King of the Jungle, and he clears the King of the Jungle for P2 as they're side-by-side teammates. Father and son for P4. JMB gets by Capitan. Ooh, a bit of a send, though, bit of a lockup. 3 wide. Somehow that's working out between these guys. And Capitan lost a spot to F1 Nerd. Wow. What a move by F1 Nerd. 3 wide, and he made it work. He's looking for some here on JMB, and I think he's going to stay in line for the time being. As we take a look at our positions gained and lost after that start, Capitan down a couple places, lost a spot to his son there, and then lost one to F1 Nerd after a big send. And he's going to hang out in P5 right now for the time being. At the front, ooh, Mahmoud getting sideways there. That is in turn 9. You can pretty much go flat out 7th gear through there, but if your line is just a little bit off, you may go off the road as B-Tom is staying on the road, all 4 wheels nice and pretty. And we do have another driver who will be joining us in the feature. You may see him speaking in the bottom left corner. Oh my goodness, B-Tom locks it up and spins in the hairpin. What a rare mistake there by B-Tom. Out of nowhere in the hairpin. Holy smokes. And he just possibly threw away a bunch of points. And a good starting spot for the TCR Grand Prix after binning it in the hairpin. Ahead of him, they're side-by-side in this long, sweeping double left-hander, really. Turn 6 and now turn 7. Kind of parallel corners, actually. But the big story, B-Tom, down to P8, and Mahmoud looking for a 5-lap sprint win. This does not go in the record books, but nonetheless, Mahmoud looking for some bonus points, but these guys are hot on his tail, trying to get the fastest lap point. And now the question is, how many spots can B-Tom get back here? I know he didn't practice before the race. He was probably going this fast on his way home, but he's here, and not something you see often from him. As look at this, Capitan trying to get some spots back here. After getting a spot on D-Switch, he's got one back on F1 Nerd, and he's back up to where he started. Don't look now, though. F1 Nerd peeking to the inside here in turn 4. Can he get him? Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Maybe a little bit of side-by-side bumping and banging, but nonetheless, Capitan back up to where he started. And now what this has done is this has put Mahmoud up there in the hot seat. He's under pressure from Lion. And very abbreviated helicopter shot as these Austrian cameramen have other things to do, clearly. Oh, and JMB gets a time penalty. 2 seconds. Because this is only 5 laps, so you know what? That's a misdemeanor. We'll keep the police back at the police station for now, as Charger's breathing on D-Swish. He has to back off a little earlier than he normally would, as F1 Nerd. Oh, these misdemeanors are adding up. We may need to get the state police on you, as here comes D-Swish to the inside. He doesn't have him clear in the hairpin. Oh, he sends it in there. Oh, contact. B-Tom trying to get a spot on Charger. He gets it. At the front. This is not where JMB will finish now because of penalties. Ooh, these guys are beating and banging. This could be the spot that they get for 3rd, and that's a bonus point. And look at this. B-Tom lost part of his wing. Huh. I don't think that was during the spin. That might have been on the track with someone else. He is up to P6 though, so at least he's going to get a better starting spot. Oh, JMB Yeah, we may have to call the police on you after this. We'll let you finish the race, and then we'll take you out back, and they'll give you a little talking to. Final lap, Mahmoud has 10 corners to go. Can he get to the finish line first and win the sprint race? 5 bonus points, huge for his spot in the championship right now, considering he's fighting Lion for P2 in points. This is going to be the battle here for P1. GTR Lion, he's burning the battery. He's got DRS to the outside. He's going to send it back to the inside. What a switchback by Lion. Side by side for the lead. Mahmoud not giving up. They're side by side. Good, respectful racing. Mahmoud can't make it stick. Lion gets the spot. And B-Tom going to get P5. Could get P4 with penalties when it's all said and done. But what a move by Lion. Last lap pass on Mahmoud. Can he get to the finish line first and start on pole for the TCR Grand Prix? He does. Lion wins the 5-lap sprint race. Mahmoud P2, D-swish up to P3. He gets the final bonus point, and we'll see who got fastest lap. If you like the appetizer, we got the main dish coming up. That was something. That was a nice little 5-lap race. I liked what I saw there. And Lion, you know, Lion's actually won both sprint races so far this year. He won the actual sprint race as a part of Sprint Week back in Britain, and now he won the 5-lap race. So he's got 5 bonus points. B-Tom did get a bonus point in qualifying. You know, I should point that out. He did get 1, but this is not going to make it easier, at least for B-Tom to clinch. I think he's still in a good spot, but Lion gets 5, and B-Tom gets 1 in qualifying. So Lion gained 4 points on B-Tom overall during the qualifying effort. So you can turn that into a 104-point lead for B-Tom. He needs 86 after tonight. He's in a good spot, but I think what does he need to do? He needs to finish in 5th. If B-Tom finishes 5th in the feature, he's got this wrapped up. And JMB got fastest lap. All right, so that's a bonus point for JMB. A lot of warnings just in 5 laps, but that will be how we set the order for the feature. And we'll take like a couple-minute break here to set the order. And we do have a couple of new people, actually. We got Raikkonen, and we'll talk about STX in a second. STX is a returning driver, a former winner here in TCR. All right, what am I doing? Leave your predictions down. You know, it doesn't have to be predictions. It could be thoughts, concerns, facts. Whatever your heart desires. Feel free to say something on either the YouTube or Twitch side of things, as you get to get a behind the scenes here as to how we set things up for the TCR Grand Prix, the 12th annual event of this race. Chargers, if I think we're good to go. STX starts in front of Raikkonen because STX actually got in the lobby first. So, wow, yeah, I think actually we may be good to go. Let me do some quick double checkings and yeah, that's why you always double check, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you always double check, because you just never know. Yeah, I think we're good. So we'll give it a minute, and then we will start the feature race, the 50% feature race. 36 laps. It will be clear weather. We always do clear weather in this event. And we will have double-digit drivers here tonight. So, you know, for B-Tom, his quest to clinching the championship is a little more difficult now. He does need to finish 5th. I've learned that's where he needs to actually, I think it may be 6th because of the tiebreaker. Yeah, B-Tom doesn't usually finish down there. So, I mean, if we get in a scenario like that today, then I guess we'll we'll find out. But B-Tom's worst finish this season is 2nd. So, yeah. Funny enough, though, his luck in the sprint races this season have not been good. He finished 5th in the Britain sprint race, and then he just got a semi-poor result here in this race. So, all right. We will give the ready up. And we will be good to go. So STX returning for the first time this season, first time in many seasons. Former driver here in TCR from many seasons ago. He's back, and we've had a lot of that this season, actually. We've had a handful of drivers who weren't here for the last few seasons, and they made a return here this season. So it's good to see some familiar faces returning to the grid. So we will do kind of a normal thing. I mean, look at the time. It's 9:08 Eastern. This is about the time we get done with short qualifying. So we're basically on track. And as a matter of fact, I think we're a couple minutes up on our projections. So you know what that means. I get to do more predictions, and I just realized I absolutely botched last predictions. I had B-Tom winning. That did not happen. So you guys get to listen to a later part of the song, because this is the second time I'm playing it today. So I do think B-Tom is going to win. I think he got the mistake out of the way. And like I said, you know, he's had horrible luck, it seems like, in the sprint races this season, or just, you know, has gotten into trouble. So he's great in any other event this season, it seems like. So I got B-Tom P1. He'll clinch his 8th championship. I've got his partner in crime, Lion P2. They're going to clinch constructors. And then we'll go Mahmoud P3. You know, it's actually been a little bit since we've had a Mahmoud P3 specifically. So we'll go Mahmoud P3. So I got basically the top 3 in points, finishing 1, 2, 3. So leave your predictions down. I don't want to keep saying it, but I do see there's a handful of you tonight tuning in, so I do appreciate that. And don't be shy. The XP award is up for grabs, just like it is every week. So feel free to comment on the YouTube side of things and get some XP points. That way I'm not talking to a brick wall for an hour and a half. But you know, something I've learned with doing this by myself most weeks is that I kind of just ramble. I can kind of just talk and fill in the gaps, and that's kind of what you have to do as a commentator, is you got to call the action, and then whenever there's gaps in the broadcast, whether there's not as much racing going on or there's intermissions like this, you know, you got to fill in the gaps somehow and keep things good. So I think we're about to get to the good stuff, though, and we're about to ready up for the formation lap. And you know, this start's going to be interesting with B-Tom starting in the midfield. We have a couple guys at the back who weren't here for the 5-lap race. One of them has not been here for quite a few seasons, so this is going to be an interesting start to this race. And turn 1, that short right-hander, definitely it gets tight. So you know, we'll just see how tight it gets. And you know, when it comes to entertainment things, the tighter the better. So, do I need to play the Jeopardy theme song? I'm so getting us copyrighted. This is a little too loud. You know, you don't get copyrighted if the volume is just low enough and you're talking just enough. You typically don't get copyrighted, but all right. What is going on? Do I need to play it again? What are we doing? I don't know. Do I play it again? Do I pull out the Price is Right theme song? Do I do that? Ooh, I do like that theme song, though. That's, like, my favorite one. I'm just going to play it just because. I think it gets us hyped up. That's kind of what we need right now after these people have been sleeping the last 5 minutes. And we're getting our formation lap going here. Let's take a look at the tires. Ooh. We got a couple of hard runners. Getting hard in 4th, 5th, and 7th. Everyone else going for the mediums. And Lion gonna lead us to green here. You know, now the energy level's a little farther up now than what it was a couple minutes ago. As we take a look at the possible race strategies, a 3-stopper on the table. Okay. I don't think we're gonna have that unless if we have safety cars come into play, but that would be interesting if we have a 3-stopper. I think the 2-stopper is probably the way to go tonight, as it has been most weeks. And I'm curious to see what Raikkonen can do from last. He's typically good at coming from the back and making his way to the front. In that car, I think he's been in that car just about every time he's been here this season. So we'll see what he can do from the back. But Lion, he was going a little faster. Now he's kind of on a little Tuesday night cruise here. Through turn 9, entering turn 10. These two corners right here, they are harder than they look because of how fast they are. You think you could be overly ambitious, and if you have the wrong line going into those corners, the back end will step around, and you will not be a happy camper. Let's see who can park and who can't park. Cameraman, I am not a fan of this angle. As everyone coming to the finish line. Oh, J and B can't park, and F1 Nerd can't park. And Raikkonen can't park. All right, the 12th annual TCR Grand Prix is just about to be underway for the feature event here in Austria for round 9. 5 lights on the grid, and it is time to go, go, go. Off the line, Lion gets a great start ahead of Mahmoud. Down into turn 1, he's got him cleared by about 4 car lengths, and they're side by side. Oh, look at this! J and B-Tom, both fighting for that spot. And let's see what happens here down into the hairpin. B-Tom on the outside. Will he get the spot? He doesn't have the preferred line. He's gonna tuck in for now. Oh, J and B sideways. And B-Tom gonna go back down to the inside. And let's see if he gets the spot here on the McLaren. J and B goes back to the inside. Nice little switchback, but not enough. B-Tom up to P4. Good stuff there. STX gets a spot on Chargers, who fell down a couple spots. If you take a look at our positions, gained and lost. Yeah, Chargers down 3 spots. Not the best start for him. Raikkonen up 2 spots, although Chargers may take a peek here on STX, and he's got the spot back. So Chargers only down 2 from the beginning. First lap complete. F1 Nerd, P7, right behind the McLaren duo. And yeah, you gotta watch out for the turtles there in turn 1. If you run over the turtles, they will be screaming at you, and they may take the underbody of your car and throw you off into the sand where the turtles should be. As F1 Nerd gonna stay in line. You know, this track is fun. I think there's gonna be a lot of leapfrogging. If everyone can stay together, this will be a good race. As D swish to the outside. Ooh, he could look for a switchback on Mahmoud. Nonetheless, he's going to stay in line for the time being. And bad news for Chargers. He has lost DRS. And Lion up in the P1 about half a second ahead of his championship rival for P2 in the standings. Mahmoud right now just a few points behind Lion. Mahmoud has 86. Lion has 97. So about 11 points there, which really isn't a lot. If Mahmoud wins this race, that gap will shorten quite dramatically, as here he goes, just like I said, he's up in the P1 now. Mahmoud, that's the first time I ever spoke something into existence for you that was positive. And look at these two hooligans in the back. Whoa! Ooh, a bit squirrely there. Big lock up there for D-Swish. Definitely trying to throw it in there. I think B-Tom is going to take advantage of that. To the inside here, down into turn 7. And he has the spot. Turns 6 and 7, I should say. That double left-hander. That was turn 7 that F1 Nerd just went through, and Chargers and STX went through about a second ago. And like I said, you know, this is one of those tracks where you can really stay together, as we have a big train of cars from about 1st down to 8th right now, all following along the conductor of Mahmoud up there in the 1st spot. All aboard the Mahmoud train. Hopefully Mahmoud doesn't lead us off the track. It's never good if you're the conductor and you lead the train off the track, you know. I don't think I need to explain any further than that. I'm firing on 2 cylinders tonight. I'm just staying alive, you know. Ooh. New sound effect alert. I did keep in mind of the staying alive sound effect, and you know what? I think not only am I staying alive, but the fact that we have 10 people tonight and they're all still in this race, they're all staying alive. We're staying alive tonight. That's the goal. I want everyone to finish the TCR Grand Prix, including myself. As B-Tom's staying alive, he's not going to bin it in the hairpin. He is up in the P2. And he gets the spot on his teammate GTR line for P2. And as of now, Ferrari would clinch the Constructors, and B-Tom would have his 8th championship in the league. And, you know, good for him, because I picked against him in the preseason predictions, which you can look back on in our TCR Racing Debrief, the Racing Debrief podcast here on the YouTube side of things. Our little podcast that we've done over the years here in TCR, kind of a staple in TCR history. I think B-Tom has this made. I mean, he's gained 4 spots already. Like, he got fastest lap. He is about 3 seconds away from the record, though. I don't think that's going to happen. We have a caution for Chargers spinning out in the final corner. That is that tricky final corner, that turn 10 I was talking about before, that fast corner. And we don't see many mistakes from Chargers. And as a matter of fact, he took off his wing. So big mistake there for Chargers. And this is going to be a long night for him, unless if we get a safety car. For the lead, here comes B-Tom. Mahmoud going for his first win. B-Tom going for win number 56, right? I can't keep track anymore, B-Tom. How many is it? You had 49 at the end of last season. This would be your 8th win of the year. This would be 57, as DRS is enabled. Was it not enabled? I'm no weatherman, but I don't think it's raining right now. Ooh, Chargers again. Issues in Sector 2. Yeah, no, it's B-Tom. He's had an incredible season. The fact that I'm losing track of his career total is insane, and you got to give props where props are due. Going for win number 57 right here, as Chargers in the pits to fix his wing and get some new tires. JMB going to get a spot on D-Swish. And oh, Chargers. You can't do that when I'm talking about you, Chargers. I don't normally do this for you, Chargers, but you got the police called on you. Chargers usually falls under the radar with me. He's super consistent, kind of just runs his own race, but tonight, oof, the police, they are keeping him overnight, and he's going to have to post bail. And out of the pits he goes. Yeah, it's a long race, and there's 10 people here tonight, so he will get points if he just sticks it out and just, you know, sticks it in and gets a point, you know. If you stick it in long enough, good things will happen to you. As F1 Nerd may have had a moment, and he's, whoa! F1 Nerd! I'm baffled. What was that? What? And what was that? Oh, he's got a dinner date. That's what it is. He's got a dinner date. I'll let you guys figure it out if I'm actually telling the truth or not. For the lead. Whoa, what a send! B-Tom, Mahmoud off in the sand. Oh my goodness. And what this has done is this has put J and B up into the lead, and B-Tom is going to try and give the spot back to Mahmoud. Holy cow. And I'm sure Mahmoud probably wasn't pleased by that, but at least B-Tom gives the spot back. That was just a crazy send by B-Tom. Oh, and he just hit Mahmoud, who comes into the pits. Insult to injury. I think B-Tom's still hyped up from that drive home. My goodness. Does he have wing damage? He did give Mahmoud a tap. And I think for Mahmoud, that was a good time for him to come into the pits and just take a deep breath. My goodness. And this pit exit here is tricky. I have spun out of the pit exit here before. Actually, fun fact, my worst ever race in TCR was at this track back in season 13, I think. It was actually the last DNF I ever had in this league. I had a DSQ for for internet issues, but anyways, one of the few DNFs I had in this league was at this track, and I was atrocious that day. But anyways, not about me. Let's talk about Lions. Singular. GTR Lion. No, don't speak! Lion, we've seen this before. You scared me for a second there. But he gets his new fresh set of hard tires, and out he goes to hunt his prey and get back up to the lead. You know, I think the two-stopper is what we're going to do, because it's not even 10 laps completed yet, and we already have pit stops. So, unless they're going to take these tires 26 laps, I doubt it, personally. With this game and with the tire wear, I highly doubt it. Capitan looking for something on D-Swish. And all these guys still have to pit. And especially D-Swish, who just had a moment. Capitan goes by. That may be a sign that his tires are wearing off. And will Capitan lead him in? Let's take a look. We've had a couple of people not have the best pit entry. D-Swish doing it right. Capitan's going to stay out. And this is probably top 5 hardest pit entries on the F1 calendar, as D-Swish is. He's making sure I don't call the police on him. He's going to come in for service. And off he goes. Oh, SDX. SDX, you're not here often for this, so we got to disperse evenly of the police force. We've got the National Guard. We've got the school resource officers. And now we're going to get the dump truck to pick you up out of the grass. And then we're going to get Mr. Clean to get the grass off your tires. He's going to clean your tires with his shiny bald head of his. He's not even going to use the product. He's just going to use his shiny head to clean off your tires. That may make them cleaner than using the product. I would love to find out. What's better, OxyClean or Mr. Clean? For those who are listening back, or those who are watching live, give your opinion. I'm curious. B-Tom, I think, about a half-hearted move. Contact, and he stays in P2. Man, B-Tom is aggressive tonight. Getting those elbows out. And I think we just had an elbows out moment here. GTR Lion, fresh tires. He gets by STX. And this is a battle on track. Through all the chaos of Mahmoud getting punted off the road, he is still ahead of Lion on track. These two at the front, though, I don't know if they're going to pit anytime soon. They are on those hard tires, so they can go a few more laps than Capitan and Raikkonen can. And we'll see when these two come in the pits. Raikkonen going to stay out. Capitan going to stay out. STX, he is rounding turn 7. He's going to stay out. Raikkonen, you can't get a penalty after I just mentioned your name. You can't do that. That's rule number 1, actually, of TCR. Is you're not allowed to do something after I say your name. As B-Tom makes the pass on JMB, goes up in the P1. And Raikkonen may be pissed off. He may be hearing what I'm saying. He's closing in on Capitan, driving angry. I'm making that up. I can't read his mind. I don't know. He might be driving angry. I don't know. Raikkonen doesn't seem like the type that would, but you never know. You never know. Not the best corner there in turn 6, though. He's going to have to regather himself here. He does have a lot of battery to work with, though, in comparison to Capitan. So he does have a lot of juju to work with. And they are still staying out. As a matter of fact, B-Tom and JMB, who are both on the white hard tires, just came in before those guys. Which is crazy, because we are only about a third of the way through the race. And these guys have taken off the hards. And they're putting on some more hards. So they're probably doing a hard medium, as you saw them struggle coming out of the pits there. As STX has had enough. I don't blame him. And quite frankly, I think the top 2 should probably come in pit too. To complement STX's number 2 on his car. The top 2 should come in 2. And now we got number 2. Capitan in the lead on lap 14. Question is, how long will he stay in the lead? Does he come in and pit this time? He didn't get beneath the white line. Yeah, he's not coming. Neither is Raikkonen. They're going to hold it, and they're not going to come. Oh, Lion penalty. That's big. Half a second behind Mahmoud, 1.6 ahead of B-Tom, and that is going to hurt his chances at a win today. For the lead, Raikkonen gets the spot on Capitan up into P1. PD Raikkonen from last to first. Stop the count. Stop the count right now. Raikkonen has done a last to first. I'm really impressed with these guys. The fact that these guys are still out here when you've had guys on hards already picked. I mean, their tires are not in a good spot, don't get me wrong, but I don't see a lot of degrading on their tires. You know, there is a gray tint. Ooh, I think Raikkonen might have thought about it. Capitan's coming in. you know, I do see a gray tint. I do see some rubber built up. But, like, those tires don't look horrendous. I've seen a lot worse this season with the tires. As B-Tom puts up fastest lap, still about 2.5 seconds off the record. I don't think this is a record B-Tom will be snatching tonight. Flying Jippo, fun fact. Flying Jippo has both the qualifying and race lap record from Season 10. A long time ago now. Half the league's history ago. About 5 years, because we do 2 seasons every year. And here we go for P2. Look at this. The top 3 in points all going at it. Not in that order. It may be in that order soon, though, depending on what happens here. B-Tom gets a spot on Lion. Can he get this on Mahmoud, though? This is for net P1 on track. These two had a scuffle in turn 4 not that long ago. And here comes Raikkonen into the pits, and he gives up the lead to Mahmoud. Ooh, he's going a little fast. He's all right. And Mahmoud back up in the P1. So after all that, B-Tom and Mahmoud going off track, look where they are. Back up in the P1 and P2. And as a matter of fact, B-Tom is going to try this again. He's got the lead. He does it clean this time. But question is, though, does B-Tom get a penalty after this race? I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that. Because, yeah, I caught the tail end of that, but it looked pretty ugly. And if I were Mahmoud, I would definitely think about it. At the back, STX looking for a move on Chargers. Ooh, bit of a lockup there. Nonetheless, he gets the spot. Chargers, ooh, bit sideways there on corner exit. He's got 13 seconds after that speeding penalty, so even with the fact that STX has a penalty ahead of him, it's all for naught as of now. But you know what? He's sticking with it. He's going to finish 9th as of now, and it looks like he'll get a couple points. Man, B-Tom is just pulling away from these guys. Already 1.8 seconds ahead of Mahmoud in P2, Lion P3. These guys are getting bunched up here for P2, and I think JMB may be in the catbird seat with those fresh mediums. And based on what I'm seeing with some of these guys, the way that they're stretching these medium tires, it's not too far-fetched to say that JMB could take those tires and utilize them for a long time, and he could overtake these two ahead of him, and he could pull away. Question is, though, can he get by them? Because it's one thing to get near them or get to them, but can he get by them? He's draining the battery trying to make it happen. Lion is being conservative. Mahmoud being somewhat conservative, draining the battery now. He's going to have to, because here comes JMB. And around the outside, trying to make this work here on Lion in the hairpin. He may get this right here. He does. Good move by JMB. And now he's got one spot to go in this battle, but boy, B-Tom just putting on a clinic right now. And even if he does get a penalty after the race, I mean, at this rate, I really hope he stays out. I hope he stays out and he doesn't go for fastest lap. Because he's already got it, first of all. Like, he's not going to get the race lap record. Unless if he proves me wrong yet again, but yeah, I would like to see him actually try and pull a gap for once. See what he can do. I think this is going to be pretty cut and clear for JMB. As a matter of fact, he is bump tracking Mahmoud there for a split second, coming out of turn 1, and up into P2 he goes. Nice little camera shot here at the top of the hill, at the hairpin in turn 3, as here comes JMB, and the question is, can JMB close the gap on B-Tom with those tires? He could make it happen, but B-Tom is just in another world right now. He is running, knowing that he may have some penalties coming his way, depending on what the outcome is in that Mahmoud incident. And who knows if Mahmoud will even submit that. I mean, who's to say that I'm assuming he's going to submit it? He might not. Who knows? He might not submit it just because I said he might submit it. He might do an intentional commentator's curse. He has control over whether or not I'm going to be right. So Mahmoud, if you want to get another commentator's curse in, it's your call. And I think this is going to be hard for Lion to get a podium here tonight. 3 seconds in penalties. Long way to go, and I think we still have another pit stop to go. So you never know. But the cards are not in his favor right now. But he does have a gap to D-Swish, so... I just remembered. Lion used to be the king of 4th places. He started off the season with 4 4th places. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Including this event, we have 4 races to go. Does he do it again? I'm just going to say that. We're going to come back to this. Maybe after tonight. If he doesn't get a 4th place tonight, this means nothing. But, you know, maybe at the end of the season, we'll come back to this and we'll see if I'm right. Does Lion get 4 4th place finishes to round out season 20? I'm very curious now if he does. Mahmoud, look at the straight line speed by the Aston Martin. And whoa, look at the slide. These guys are going at it. Good stuff there. JMB back up in P2. Mahmoud not going to give up just yet, though. Back to the inside he goes in the Aston Martin. Down into turn 4. Big lockup. Nonetheless, JMB keeps the spot. One stop for all these guys. I don't ever look at stops. You know, that's something I need to do more often. This detail has a lot of stuff. You can look at stops, you can look at tires, penalties, positions gained and lost. I love that. But I don't look at stops very often. And Mahmoud is coming in for his 2nd stop, just as I say that. B-Tom, 3-second time penalty. That could come back to bite him. And you know what? I hate to say this, but if B-Tom does win tonight, this is just proof that if you're fast enough, you can overcome anything. Because for B-Tom standards, you know, I'm just going to say it. It's been a bit of a sloppy event for him. He's had a sloppy night. Spun out in the 5-lapper, got into an incident with Mahmoud. Like, there's just, you know, there's just been things that have happened. And now he's got a time penalty to go along with it. So, but if he gets a big enough of a gap, then it doesn't matter. And I hate to make this comparison, but, you know, for some people, if they have enough money, they can just make things disappear. That's life. I hate to say it that way, but that's just the real world. You know, if you have enough money, you can do just about anything. As here comes Lion in the pits, 20 miles an hour. He is making sure that he's not going to break the lobby this week. That was awesome. And out he goes. I wish you could serve a 3-second penalty. I really wish that there could just... I know it's not in the rules. I just really wish that you could. You could at least have the option to. You know? And I wish you would have that option in general with penalties. If you have a 10-second penalty, you should have the option to not serve it in the pits. As here comes Capitan around Raikkonen out of the hairpin. And down the backstretch into turn 4. Ooh, Capitan might have missed the corner there. And Raikkonen gains the 10th back on him right away. But yeah, like B-Tom, you know, a 3-second penalty. He did have a pretty ugly looking incident with Mahmoud. Could be 5 seconds there, who knows. But J&B, though, he is going to come in and do his final pit stop on his schedule for the night. And let's see where he comes out in comparison to these guys. Mahmoud, Lion, they are done making pit stops. J&B, oh, it's going to be close with Lion. I think he's going to get Lion. And look at that, J&B has mediums. Yeah, these two keep going at it here up in P3 now. Yeah, that's big for J&B, the fact that he got out in front of Lion. Fresh mediums. He is looking for a P2 finish. It would be back-to-back P2 finishes. Based on the strategy right now, that is looking like where he is going to end up. And it would be back-to-back P2s for J&B. Third of the season. And it would be 5 podiums for J&B, actually. 5 podium finishes for J&B. Not bad considering he missed the first couple of weeks. D-Swish in the pits. I think he's going to go mediums. He did take those hards 15 laps. I don't know if anyone else has done that tonight. But out he goes on mediums. Now I'm curious to see what STX does, and if STX comes and takes off his mediums and puts on another pair of mediums, perhaps. He's going to stay out. B-Tom staying out another lap. I'm curious what he does. He may just be shortcutting it. He may want to take the mediums, 9 laps or so, as Capitan adds his name to Santa's naughty list. At this point, the police are tired. I'm just going to put you on Santa's naughty list, and you'll get some coal in your stocking. That's kind of how we'll do this. And as we get into the fall months and we get closer to winter, I think that's what we should do. Oh, J&B, speaking of, like father, like son, your family is getting coal in their stockings this winter. TCR is going to end like late October this season, so we won't have a Christmas affair. You know, we're giving out our presents early, so these guys are getting coal in their stockings, and there's a lot of them that are going to have it as Capitan and Raikkonen continue their game of leapfrog here on track. And actually, if you look at the track map in the bottom right-hand side of your screen, there is quite the congestion going on in the midfield. We got a lot of battles going on, and this battle right here has opened wide up with both J&B and Lion having 3-second penalties. So, something to look for here. As we look at our stops, top 3 still needs to go, again, into the pits. Unless if they dare to stretch it. I don't think that's smart. I wouldn't do it. But you never know. I could see Raikkonen trying it. He's gaining. Capitan snaking away, trying to get rid of the slipstream. These two continue their battle for position. And Capitan down to P3. He may lose P3 to Mahmoud. And this is where things get interesting, though. Mahmoud, J&B, Lion, all together, but they've got traffic in front of them. How will they maneuver their way through traffic? And does J&B pressure Mahmoud into a time penalty, perhaps? Mahmoud has 1, Mahmoud has 2 warnings. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. JMB, he could pressure Mahmoud into a warning, and that's all it would take. And at this point, second place is wide open. Because BTOM, he's going to win the race. I'm just going to say it. He's going to win the race. I don't even think we'll get a commentator's curse either. I genuinely think he's going to win the race. This is for net P2 on track based on strategy. Here's Mahmoud going by Capitan, who is not on his strategy. Capitan, oh man! Raikkonen holding everybody up with that slide. And Capitan not going to make things easy here. Oh my goodness! Is he going to go up the middle? JMP, he thought about it. Oh, contact! They're beating and banging. Look at this McLaren sandwich. Holy cow. Unbelievable stuff here. And now McLarens are side by side. Does Capitan give the spot to JMB? Yes, he does. Good teammate right there by Dad. And now Lion. Oh, that was risky, Capitan. If Lion were 2 inches closer, that would have been disaster. And I think Lion's had enough of this. To the inside, he's going to get this done right away. Capitan is not making things easy, and there he goes right on by. And now Lion going to have to fight to get back up to JMB. Great defense by Capitan, helping out his son. And Mahmoud, he needs to just get by Raikkonen, and I think he's free. Raikkonen not going to make this easy, though. This is definitely a battle of the season candidate right here between these guys. Good stuff. Good, hard racing. Clean, for the most part. A little aggressive, but clean. And meanwhile, BTOM, because of all this battling, he is up to a 22-second lead. And the thing is, Raikkonen's on his strategy, too. And he's got that big of a lead. At this point, I'm starting to think BTOM might be stretching it. I think he's starting to listen to me. And he's going to see how big of a gap he can get. You might as well. We've only got a few laps left. You might as well. Ooh, these guys, whoa, Charger's off in those freaking, where are we next week? He's off to Brazil. That's where he is. These guys staying on track. JMB to the inside of Raikkonen, who is making it hard on him. Man, he's a JMB down to 5%. If this were his phone, he needs to plug that sucker in. As here goes Raikkonen back to the inside of Mahmoud. Ooh, contact. JMB going to take advantage of this. And does he clear Raikkonen for position? No, he does not. They're side by side in turn 6. Here comes Lion to the inside of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen going to lose 3 spots in 3 corners. We are in Brazil next week. I do want to point that out. We are right. Oh, I should double check. We're in Brazil, right? Let me double check. Yeah, we're in Brazil next week for a sprint race. Back-to-back sprint weeks, technically, since we had a 5-lap sprint before. And then we got a 3-tire special, round 11, and then COTA. In 3 weeks is the season finale, October 21st, and that will wrap it all up, folks. JMB, you know, I don't want to say it like this, but man, if Mahmoud had a time penalty, this would be even spicier. I mean, look at the penalties. This would be awesome. If everybody was on the same playing field. Here comes BTOM, though. Yeah, those hards might be screaming. BTOM might be playing with fire, though. Here's Mahmoud. He may have enough time. This pit lane is pretty short. He may have enough time. Mahmoud through turn 10 right now. I think BTOM's got enough time. Once again, BTOM gonna go for a race lap record, and yeah, this pit lane is so short. BTOM still got 3 seconds. As of now, though, hold on. just for the moment. Mahmoud would be winning the race as of now because of penalties, but I'm sure with those soft tires, that will be short-lived. He's got to be careful, though. Like I said, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with that little incident with he and Mahmoud. I think it is submittable based on what I saw. So if Mahmoud, if he wants to submit it, I mean, B-Tom might want to get a gap here. That's all I'm going to say. He may want to get it like 5 seconds. So right now, Mahmoud looking for a nice P2. It would be his second P2 in 3 weeks, as he finished second back in Italy, back in Monza. Would be his 4th podium of season 20. Still looking for that first win, but with B-Tom on the grid, you just never know when that'll happen, as we did have a disconnect from Raikkonen, so Capitan may be taking advantage of this and going up to P5. But D-Swish, no penalty. He could just snatch that spot right back. This could be a good lap for B-Tom because he's got DRS ahead of him. I think he's going to with Chargers. Right? Is that Chargers? Who is that? Who is... Oh, that's... Oh, that's STX. Oh. And STX gonna let B-Tom go. Does B-Tom get DRS from that? He does not. Fastest lap, 1:05.511, and that is just yet another bonus point for B-Tom. And he is now 2 laps away from clinching his 8th championship and helping Ferrari clinch Constructors. These guys, yet again, this duo has been great, and you know what? We could get both of them in for a podium interview here, depending on what happens with Lion and JNB. D-Switch up to P5. Lion not close enough to make a move just yet. And he's going to stay in line for the time being. You know what? You got to look at D-Swish, actually. Take a look at this. With the Delta right now, he's kind of came out of nowhere. He just needs a second on Lion. He's got the spot. Final lap, though, at the front, B-Tom, 1 lap away from a championship. With still 3 weeks left. Just a historic season. He is 1 spot away from having a perfect season in Australia. Look at this, though. JMB sideways. Lion going to make a move. Not close enough. Where does he send it? To the inside. Big send, GTR Lion. JMB gives him space. Side by side for the 3rd position. JMB not giving up. Lion has the position. And that may be all she wrote. JMB gets a good exit. He's sideways on the grass. And that could allow D-Switch to get that spot from him. Good racing for second. At the front, B-Tom. A historic season, winning just about every race you can win. And he is going to add another accolade to his resume. B-Tom has clinched his 8th TCR Drivers' Championship. And he wins the 12th annual TCR Grand Prix. Great showing from him. Mahmoud P2. Lion crashes for P3. And D-Swish is going to get P4 from JNB, who finishes P5. Probably disappointing since he had a podium in his hands there at the end. Capitan P6. Raikkonen is going to come home P7. I think he got to 90%. Look at P8. Chargers got STX by 7/1000ths of a second. Good comeback there for Chargers. After it looked like he was doomed in P10, he's going to get P8. solid result considering the poor start he had to the race. B-Tom does his pose, and for some reason, that McLaren garage tripped me out. I thought we were looking at a McLaren podium there. And you know, we do have both Ferrari guys on the podium here, so we'll do a Constructor Championship interview. Ferrari clinches the Constructors Championship. It's B-Tom and GTR Lion yet again, and there they are, celebrating their championship. Great season by those guys. B-Tom, race winner, fastest lap driver of the day, and Capitan gets the most overtakes. B-Tom, Mahmoud, GTR Lion will be our podium. But what a great TCR Grand Prix 12th annual event. Great racing. Honestly, some of the best racing we've had this season, I think. And I can't wait to talk to these guys. Ooh, we get a championship too, I guess. With no driver icon there. In the graphic there, it should show B-Tom's head. It does not. All right. We'll get these guys in for a little podium interview here. And we will talk to B-Tom, Mahmoud, and GTR Lion. And we got both B-Tom and Mahmoud in this podium interview. I do want to touch up on that incident and just get their thoughts on that. All right, we will get these guys in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment on the YouTube or Twitch side of things. And we will get this show on the road. We did pretty good on time, too. It's not even 10 o'clock on the East Coast. This is about normally when we finish our races, so I think we did a pretty good job of staying on schedule today. But we will kick things off here right away with our third place finisher, GTR Lion, back on the podium this week after a chaotic round 8 in Miami. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, you had a good battle there at the end with Mahmoud, with JMB, and then you ended up getting by JMB, and you held off third place because D-Swish was actually coming. He had no penalty, he had fresher tires, but you were able to get P3, and you and B-Tom clinched the Constructors, so congratulations.
Thank you, Camden. Yeah, I'm happy for today's race. It was fun. It was really fun. Yeah, good race overall. I think, you can't get away from the DR strains, and being in the dirty air of other cars, it's tricky on corner entry and exit, so you end up with warnings. So clean air is kind of the advantage, believe it or not, when it comes to just staying on track and within the lanes. But I'm happy with P3, and it was a little bit didn't feel like a 36 lap. Honestly, I had lots of fun, so it was a good race.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty quick race, especially with the fact that we had a 5-lap sprint before, which, by the way, I know that the 5-lap sprint doesn't really count as like a sprint week necessarily, but you are 2 for 2 in sprint events this season, so I might have to start calling you King of the Sprints, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, I guess I discovered a new challenge.
Right on. Let's see, so...
Yeah, good race by Mahmoud and B-Tom, and obviously I had... I think Mahmoud had a race pace advantage. I think I was running too much downforce today compared to others, which is not too bad for tire wear, but I was just struggling to keep up overall, but it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. You had a good race, good pace. I do want to say, since we're on the theme of sprints, we have another one next week, actually. So what do you think about Brazil, GTR? And do you think we can make it 3 for 3 for sprints in season 20?
I guess time will tell, but we'll go for it. I mean, I think it's all contingent on how B-Tom does. I think, it's not an easy slam dunk, but you never know. If luck is on my side, maybe it's another one. I need a little bit of luck to win it. I can, to be very objective about it. But I must say one last thing, because on the line I was doing a celebration, and I thought I pulled a Jeddah.
Oh, so that's what that was. I was curious.
I was waving, because I was kind of happy to get on the podium, and I was like, did I cross the line? I guess I did. And for mere few seconds, I was just about to lose it. But it was good.
That would have been brutal karma, if that happened to you after what happened in Jeddah, after you winning the race there. That would have been awful.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. Congrats to all the podium and for B-Tom on the Constructor Championship. Can't do it without him.
Absolutely. And congrats to you, Lion, on a good race for you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move up to P2, because I feel like for whatever reason, whenever I talk to Mahmoud, he ends up being the last one that goes for whatever reason. So we'll get Mahmoud out of here relatively early, and we'll talk to him now. P2 for you, second time in the last 3 races, and you kept it clean. Didn't get a penalty when everyone else around you was getting penalties. You did have 2 warnings, though. I saw that you were pretty close to getting that penalty, but just talk about how you think the race went.
Yeah, I think around Red Bull Ring it's always tricky with track limits. It's brutal, I think, with to keep the car in the white between the white lines, because you have to push it also to get to gain lap time. But overall, I'm happy. My approach was to get a clean race, because I know it's very, very difficult for everyone to keep it between the white lines and to avoid penalties. So happy to get P2 and to finish on the podium in both sprints and the feature race.
Yeah, I do want to kind of give a segue from that comment you made, because there was a point where you were off the track a little bit, and I just want to get your thoughts on the contact with you and B-Tom, because it looked like there was a move that was made in turn 4. You guys kind of went off the track. So, what was your perspective about what happened there?
I saw B-Tom starting on the hard, so I thought that I need to keep my position comes the first pit window. So when he tried to pass me, I tried to place my car in the middle of the track, so to make it as difficult as possible. Probably he outbraked himself, but it's difficult to judge. I need to see it back again. But luckily we ended up with no damage. Probably we lost some time, but either way, I think it's difficult to keep him behind for a 50% race distance. So at the end, it ended up very well for both of us.
Yeah, I actually caught the tail end of that incident, to where I transitioned back to you guys, and you guys had just made contact, so I didn't get to see the beginning part of it. But it sounds like a racing incident, and then we'll hear from B-Tom in a second. But I do want to give you an update, Mahmoud. So I'm gonna get that buffalo chicken sandwich this week. I'm going to make it a promise to myself and to you that we're going to get that done this week, because I know I've been. What was it, 3 weeks ago that I said I was craving it? So I got to feed my craving at some point, right?
Also, I need to look for a place in my local to get to one also. So I'll keep you also updated.
Do they even do buffalo chicken where you're from?
We have a lot of American-based restaurants here around Bahrain, so I think it's not a difficult task to find a place to have one.
So you'll have to send me a picture of yours, and I can send you a picture of mine.
I hope to.
Send it in the group chat, though, the public group chat. That way everyone can see them, and they can compare.
It's a promise. It's a promise.
All right, man. Congrats on the podium.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
All right, let's move on to B-Tom. Top step of the podium, but I gotta say, it wasn't cut and clear the way that it's been some of these weeks. Let's go back to the 5-lapper. Were you still kind of fired up from the drive home? You know, getting home, like, because I was kind of surprised when you had that little spin there in the hairpin.
Yeah, I was too. Basically, going into turn 2, my turn 2/turn 3. I mean, technically it's turn 3, but everyone calls it turn 2. My headphones died, and my headphones are really annoying sometimes. Like, if you mute the mic or like turn the mic on, it'll be like mic mute, and you can't hear anything else. So when my headphones died, it was like low battery. And it made like this powering down noise. And this was like right as I was going into the braking zone, so like I couldn't hear what was going on. I was thrown off by the fact that my headphones had died on me, like at the worst possible time. So I just locked the rears completely.
Wait, what did it sound like?
Oh, when it like powered off?
No, do the impression again.
Oh, okay. It was like low battery. Powering down. And I was like, why? Because like under normal circumstances, it's annoying like, when I have to mute and unmute my mic, but when I'm like going into a braking zone, and I mean, normally you use audio cues to get an idea of what's going on, because the force feedback in this game isn't exactly the best. Like if you lock the fronts or lock the rears, like you don't really get any, information on that. So you just have to use audio, and then like when you turn the wheel slightly, you can get some of that feedback. But when the wheel's straight, like you don't know. So yeah, silly error. But in pretty much the entire time in the sprint and the race, I was just struggling with the braking. So, yeah, it was partly the distraction and then partly just me struggling. So, yeah.
And then, so I know that you usually pit at the end for softs whenever you're able to and you go for fastest lap. But if you were to take those hards to the end, would they have been able to get to the end, or did you partially pit for the softs because those hards just were on their last legs? I'm just curious.
Hard, so I had to pit for medium or soft.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So at one point I was thinking about doing a one-stop, because it is possible to do here, but I was like, it's not worth the risk. I just need to get good points to the board. So I just did the 2-stop. And plus, with me struggling under braking, especially like towards the end of the stints, it just wasn't a smart thing to try. So yeah, one on the harder compounds, just so the car balance was a bit more consistent lap to lap, and then one on the softs at the end. Not as late, or as late as I wanted to, but I sort of lost that luxury when I got the 3-second time penalty, which was just a result of me breaking myself in turn 1 and picking up a double warning. So yeah.
Well, what I gotta say is the big storyline isn't even all that. You clinched the Drivers' Championship, so you've got your 8th championship now, and we've still got 3 weeks left. So, yeah, first of all, congratulations, obviously, but is your next goal win number 60? Because you can still do it, but you're going to have to win out for the rest of the season.
firstly, thank you. I don't know, because I mean, every race it's been me getting here at the very last minute. So, I think going into this one, I was probably the least prepared, just because I haven't done a league race around here probably since July. So I kind of had to make an educated guess with the setup, and I think I went a bit wrong in that area. It's probably partially why I was struggling so much under braking, but I'll try, of course, but the main thing is whether or not I can just make it on time. So I think tonight was probably the closest call, but yeah, we'll see. I've just been trying to slave away and get as much of my lab done as possible every week. So still got a bit more lab work to do, but it's everything I can do from home. So yeah, we'll see. I'll try, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy to have made as many races as I have, and I've been fortunate to win the championship once again. So yeah, whatever happens, happens.
Well, what I gotta say is that you've done a great job of being able to show up every week. So at this point, if you miss a race, you've made it this far, right? So you've been 9 for 9 so far in being able to show up. So yeah, a great season so far. I mean, you came one spot away in Australia from having a perfect season so far. So just great stuff. Keep it up, and yeah, hopefully you can continue to get your lab stuff done. That way you can get to your goal of 60 wins at the end of the season. Yeah,
for sure. It's kind of funny how it works out, because the one race I didn't win, I actually felt like I was driving fairly well. And you know, the race that clinches me the championship was probably my worst race of the season by far. So
it's funny how that works, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's kind of like conflicting emotions going on right now, because like, one, I'm happy to win the championship, but two, I'm like, man, I drove horribly. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of it you caught, but like, I missed so many apexes. I went off at turn 1 a couple times. I think I went on my actual fastest lap. I understeered off at like turn 6 or something like that. It was It was a scrappy day, but yeah, it's something I'll have to work on for future races around here. But
yeah, cool. Well, once again, I really appreciate you guys giving the time to do this podium interview, and yeah, congrats to all 3 of you, and we'll see you guys next week.
Fingers crossed.
All right. The 12th annual TCR Grand Prix is in the books. Another TCR Grand Prix done. This one was good. This one had a lot of good racing. We're going to have to go back and look at it through. If you're just listening now, if you haven't watched the whole thing, definitely go back and listen through. Watch the racing, especially in the second half of the race. There was good stuff. The 5-lapper was good. A lot of good stuff. And I think we picked a good track to do this at. And yeah, you never know how many of these events we'll have in the future. You just never know with the schedule and everything. So you just never know. So TCR Grand Prix is great. You know, there's been a lot of good ones. So this one is one for the books. And we will now transition to next week, Brazil Sprint Week, round 10 out of 12. Only 3 races to go. So Brazil is one of them. And yeah, we will be there next week, October 7th, for round 10 at Brazil. Have a good night.